Economics and Business Economics. My name is Dr. Mark Bailey. I am the course director of the Economics and Business Economics programs at Ulster University. One of the things that our students have said in national student surveys about the programs is this. The big plus about Ulster University was that it focused on career development. A lot of the concepts and techniques we learnt in class I find myself applying to my day-to-day work. Well, what are we going to cover today? We're going to cover why study economics at Ulster, what will you learn, how will you be taught, how will we support you. You'll hear what our students think. We'll talk about future careers. One thing I need to add here is that these degrees are undergoing revalidation in 2022-23 and may change, so please look at the prospectus for the most up-to-date details. Well, why should you study economics at Ulster? Well, what sets our course apart from other universities? One thing is personalised teaching support. What does that mean? Well, it means we have small seminar groups and we have career sessions built into the timetable. We have paths to specialise. At the moment, that means on the business economics programme you can choose modules in accounting, marketing, business and economics. And on the economics programme you can currently choose modules in finance and economics. And we offer placements and internships. Now in a typical year, 40 to 50% of year 2 students will undertake a paid placement in between year 2 and final year. Varies from year to year, but 40 to 50 is the norm. What will you learn? Well, you learn the skills you need necessary to start your career. One thing, of course, is quantitative skills. Economics is a quantitative discipline. Quantitative skills are valued out there in the marketplace, and economics is a good degree for developing those quantitative skills. But you'll also here learn presentation skills. You'll learn about report writing. So there's a variety of skills you'll be learning there that are transferable into the labour market when you graduate. And our degrees are designed to give you the skills and experiences you need to start your career. Now our full-time degrees are 3 years or 4 years with an optional paid placement year, or you can study abroad. So what do you learn year by year? Well, in year 1 we cover the fundamentals. That's getting you up to speed in the various components. So that's in terms of both economic theory and also quantitative methods. Year 2, second year, will reinforce those fundamentals with more economic theory and more quantitative methods. Year 3 is all about placement, if you decide to take placement. Now that can be industrial placement or it can be study abroad. Some students choose to study in the United States, some students choose to study on continental Europe. Both are options within our programme. Final year is all about taking the fundamentals we've taught you in first and second year and the skills you've developed in first and second year and applying them. So we're going to apply knowledge there, and that's going to be in both core and optional modules. It's the final year where economics and business economics really differ. That's because you specialise in the two different disciplines. Different but related. How will you be taught? Well, typically it's 3 lectures and 3 seminars a week. So that's about 9 hours of guided study and about 30 hours of self-guided. The rest of that time in the 30 hours of self-guided you'll have Blackboard, which is our virtual learning environment, and you'll have the library. Now, project work and group work is quite common in many modules in year 1 and 2. And currently all modules in year 1 and 2 are coursework. That does include class tests. Class tests are a form of coursework. And all modules use a blended learning approach. What does that mean? Well, it means that we use the virtual learning environment, Blackboard, to deliver some of the material. How will we support you? Well, in year 1, we have a small group studies advisor. Typically that means the 2 programs between them will be split between 5 or 6 studies advisors. Throughout the programme, there's the programme support area. Now that includes information on study skills, referencing, library skills and careers. That's a good repository you should keep your eye on throughout your degree. We have relatively small class sizes, especially for the optional modules. As I said earlier, there are career sessions built into the programme. And centrally, there are a wide range of student support services that are available to you. What do our students say? Well, typical sayings would be, the university has a great ethos. It is an extremely welcoming place where guidance and help are at your fingertips. Positive things are the placement opportunities and the variety of the modules. Lecturers are always willing to help in any way they can. Staff are very helpful and provide guidance throughout the course. That's just a sample of 1 year's NSS, but we see those sort of quotes year in, year out. What does one of our typical students say? Well, Paige chose to study economics because she started studying it at GCSE and she wanted to pursue it further, and she did it at A-level. She enjoys the course because there's a mixture of theoretical, mathematical and practical modules. And she's had several opportunities to take place in projects and teamwork. She did a module on the Northern Ireland economy and she found that particularly enjoyable. In fact, she went on to do a placement with the Economic Policy Centre, which is closely related to the economics team at Ulster University. She found that the lecturers were very supportive. And she intends to do a master's part-time, along with employment, which is what she's currently doing. She's employed in the Economic Policy Centre as I'm talking to you now. That's flagged up again the importance of the placement year. Now in 2020-21, about 40% were placed. Now that was during COVID. And they were placed in EY, the Civil Service, PwC, Fintro, City, KPMG, PSNI, Deloitte, the Economic Policy Centre and others. Slightly higher in 21-22, it was near enough back to our norm of 50%. So like I said earlier, 40 to 50% of our students tend to do placement each year. We will help you providing information about placements between us and the Career Service. Why is placement nice? Well, it's very good for developing your skills for final year, but quite often, about 20% or so, get an offer of secure employment with their placement employer before they graduate. Not all of them take it, but it's an offer that's there for them. Placement also, statistically, us economists like statistics, tends to achieve an higher degree classification. And regardless of whether you go back to your placement employer or not, the evidence is that you are more likely to be in full-time professional employment within 6 months of graduating. Some of this is because you build a professional network. Regardless, you'll always obtain that extra diploma upon graduation if you do placement. There's an extra piece of paper. It's something that makes you different. It's a product differentiation for you. There's real-world experience. Now, in first year, we'll have guest speakers in economics in practice. In second year, we'll have industrial practitioners participating in a core module, entrepreneurship and professional practice. And also industry practitioners will come into optional modules in year 2 and 3. So there is a real-world applied element to the economics degrees at Ulster. Why is this? Well, partly so we can respond to what the marketplace tells us out there. And what the marketplace tells us is that economics graduates are in high demand for technical and professional skills. That's things like the ability to solve practical problems. That means you use your mathematical, scientific, design, creativity and computing skills. Some is you can work in teams. And also you can project manage. And some is the ability to communicate and articulate your ideas. The ability to do presentations, the ability to write reports, those sort of skills. Also, in quite a few modules, we will get you to reflect on the journey you've done for doing a piece of work. So typically in first year, there's 2 modules where you will reflect upon the process of doing a group project, because reflection is a valuable learning experience. As I said, our graduates are in demand, not just as economists, but also in accounting, financial services and marketing, all sorts of jobs. Because increasingly businesses need workers who can explain and examine complex data. So they take data and they can explain what the data means. Last time the statistics were taken, 96% of our students were in employment or further study within 6 months of graduating. Let's hear a story from a couple of our graduates. Now, Jordan is currently Chief Economist at Property Pal. He liked our degree because it was a combination of theory and practice. He did do A-level economics, and again he was somebody who went to work in the Economic Policy Centre and he got a job there. He's now Chief Economist at Property Pal. Now there he acts as a spokesperson for the company and is a trusted subject matter expert on all UK and Northern Ireland economic and housing matters. So that's a path somebody's took from studying economics at A-level, although it is not compulsory to study economics at A-level. You can come in, we start from scratch. We assume no prior knowledge of economics at all, and it's developed into a career for Jordan. And you can watch the video there on the web. Now, Jordan is one pathway. Sometimes people don't become economists. Sophie, again like the combination of theory and practice, but she did the business economics program. And she ended up doing her placement in economic development in Lisbon and Castlereagh, and again that led to a job there. She did an MBA in California and now works in the aircraft leasing business in California. So that's a totally different career path. Like I said, doing an economics degree doesn't mean you have to become an economist. It leads to all sorts of jobs. Again, there's a video to watch there. Now, the economics programs at Ulster are going to be housed on the new campus. That's in the Cathedral Quarter in Belfast, which is the bustling cultural centre of the city. There we're going to have modern state-of-the-art facilities, and on that site there will be, over the course of the week, 15,000 students and staff. It's going to be a busy, thriving environment. Let's look briefly at the programs by themselves. Well, economics is all about the practical application to finance, policy making and management. Really, we'll be focusing there on microeconomics, macroeconomics, but also quantitative methods. Lectures, seminars, workshops, independent learning are the key delivery mechanisms, but assessment will vary. Sometimes it's computer-based exercises, sometimes it's essays, sometimes it's presentations. Some are group, but some are individual. Case studies, debates and examinations. Examinations would tend to be more final year. Now, you will get taught by people with experience in the industry and put theory to practice. Now, that experience is going to come from the Economic Policy Centre, but also from people like me. I've done a lot of economic consultancy in the past. And if you want real life experience, I would strongly recommend you consider the placement year, i.e. when you talk to Student Finance NI, you go for the 4-year version of the degree. Typical sorts of jobs an economist will go into is accounting, economics, stockbroking, data analysis, risk consultants or compliance. And our graduates work in loads of economic consulting outfits, the Government Economic Service and top firms like Citi, Deloitte, Fintru and PwC. That's BSc Honours Economics. That's UCAS code 6H55. If you want more details on the entry requirement, hopefully that barcode works okay, or follow the website ulster.ac.uk and in the course search box just type economics. They'll give you the information about economics and business economics. Business economics, UCAS code L101. That's about more of combining economics and business. So you would do the micro and macro principles in year 1 and 2 just like the economists, but you'll be able to sample modules like accounting, marketing, management. Assessment, typically the same sort of assessment mechanisms and the same sort of delivery mechanism. Again, I would really recommend you consider doing placement. Sorts of careers a business economics graduate goes into is accounting, consulting, financial analysis, business development, marketing. Lots of the jobs are exactly the same as economists, but some of the jobs are different. Typically, more business economics graduates would tend to go into accounting than economics graduates as a proportion. Like I say, UCAS Code L101. Now, the courses are being continually reviewed. I mentioned this at the start, and that's so we can take advantage of new teaching approaches and developments in research, industry and the professions. One of the key review processes is every 5 years, and that's called revalidation. That's what economics is about to undergo and will have undergone by the time you enter. That means we might be changing the modules. Not certain, but we might be. Even if we don't change the modules that are available, we will certainly nuance the way the modules operate, the way the modules have content inside. Now, also generally the exact modules available will depend upon things like course updates, staff availability. Some modules are delivered by people who really are the specialist in that area. Timetabling and also student demand. We are economists. We have to run what is economically viable. Now, look on the website or contact the course team for the most up-to-date module list. The website, the Prospectus website, gives you a really up-to-date module list. If you need more information, go to the website again, ulster.ac.uk, or email the admissions team on study@ulster.ac.uk. If you're ready to apply, you can go straight to ucas.com and apply as normal for the UCAS process. Hopefully this has been helpful to you. If you do want more very specific information on the programs, go to the website and search for me, Dr. Mark Bailey, and I will be happy to answer questions upon course content. Thank you.